Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another comicbookinvest.com Hot 10 list. We appreciate you joining in for the very first show on the Flipside Network for 2021, and we'll be right back. All right. So first, before we get started tonight, we want to give a rest in powerful peace to the one and only MF Doom. Big book on the list tonight because of his early passing. So, of course, shout out to all the MF Doom fans out there that lost somebody that they respect quite a bit. So a big name in the music industry and in the world in general, comic world in general too. So we appreciate him and rest in powerful peace with him. Gentlemen, we've got Nico, the one and only Nico Esquire in the house. Pete from Dollar Bin Diggins in the house, and Ultra Maximus from Drunken Chat and the Ultra Maximus channel. Ultra, what subscriber count? You hit over 250. Where are you at now?
270, I think, earlier.
Let's get that up, guys. Go subscribe to Ultra's page.
I appreciate that very much.
And listen, all you guys that are trying to nurse that hangover right now, as Laura from Bird City and Anthony from Bird City can attest to, what will fix that is another beer. So go grab another beer and keep drinking. All right, guys, let's get into the list tonight. We want to start here, of course, by, but as we do every night, every Hot 10 show, and give a quick shout out to Mighty Mel V and its Drunken Chat son. Ultra tonight has a crazy spec matrix. You guys don't want to miss this one. I'm not too sure if Mighty Mel V is going to be there tonight because he's probably just as hungover as everybody else, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting, so make sure you guys go check that out. And, of course, make sure you guys check out Bird City Comics over at facebook.com, Bird City Comics. They've got a lot of cool stuff going on over there right now. More importantly, make sure you guys go over to their webpage and check out all their cool stuff. They've got a new Lock and Key Megan Hutchinson variant, which is really cool. It's got a Sandman-esque type homage to it. If you guys all watch Comic Book Women, you guys know how important Sandman is to Megan Hutchinson and crew over there. So very cool stuff. Make sure you guys use the code word Flipside for 15% off your order for all those awesome variants and all those cool stuff over there. So make sure you guys go and check it out. Don't forget to use that code word Flipside for 15% off of your order. All right, I say we get into it tonight on the list. We're going to start with our of course, Ben Stein always puts in a beautiful golden age for the honorable mention. And here we go, guys. The golden age tonight is from Dynamic Comics. This is, I felt like this was on the list last week.
Hey, that's not the right one.
That's not the right one?
It's definitely not the right book.
Last week.
Definitely not.
That's last week.
That's not the right book.
Didn't somebody say something about a peeping Tom?
Okay.
Yeah, I had a whole Talented Mr. Ripley thing all ready to go.
Then I messed up, guys. I messed up.
Hold on. Technical difficulties.
Difficulties.
It's the first show of the year, but you know what? McClay's the hardest working man in podcasting that I know of. So everybody can give this man a mulligan. And while he closes that out and gets the right file up.
Yeah, you guys. I'm gonna work on the fly here. Again, hangovers are a bitch, including non-alcoholic ones.
So why don't we start with the other honorable mention while you work behind the scenes?
All right, let's do it. The other honorable mention right now, of course, is a book close to Nico's heart. Hack Slash. This is it's a book that Nico's been a title and a property that Nico's been touting for a while now. But what's up with this one getting hot so all of a sudden? This is Hack Slash Trailers #1.
You want me to talk about it? All right.
Yeah.
So this is all Scotty Young, very little hack and slash. This is one of his early works and truly an awesome cover. Super tough and high grade. It's thick as can be. A good demonstrative example of how tough it is in grade is that we couldn't find a high grade copy to use a picture of.
Yes.
And neither could Stein. It's about as thick as those Marvel .1 number ones and a super cool book. I love hack and slash. It's a lot of fun. Been optioned a dozen times. Never really, made the progress that a lot of diehard fans had hoped. I don't know that it's dead in the water by any stretch of the imagination. I think a lot of people are hoping for Blumhouse to pick up this title and run with it. That would be everyone's dream come true. We'll see how it goes.
So for somebody who's never read it, right now you are showing me a squirrel that looks like Chip and Dale-ish, who's holding a knife that is bigger than him, covered in a bunch of blood. Can you put that into context for me?
Yeah, so it's they do a good job of sort of taking the most familiar tropes for people who love horror and teasing them out in like a really fun, sometimes incredibly edgy way. So it sort of does a little bit of everything well, for lack of a better description.
And I like the early Scotty Young.
Yeah. But I mean, like a lot of series try to do everything and they end up doing nothing. It does everything when it comes to the horror genre. And you can just kind of like feel it as soon as you run through it. So, and then they do an exceptional job of like homaging Nightmare on Elm Street and, every Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like you name it, like they're there. Monsters, it doesn't matter if it's in that genre, they give a nod to it. So it's like a swan song for diehard fans of horror.
All right, let's figure this out. Try and play this a little bit better. This is the honorable mention this week, Sunny number 12. As Brandon Barton says, I am stuck in 2020. Yes, I so badly love 2020 that I gotta stay there. Not true. All right. Sunny number 12. So Stein says a pretty rare book as there are only one graded copy sale since 2019. A 7.0 copy went for $1,100 this week at auction. And I guess being a peeping Tom wasn't as big deal as back in the 1940s. That's an interesting comment. That feels like how most of those books from the 40s are. Yeah. So.
And this is just a weird book. She's dreaming of a winter vacation, but she's like, I don't need it. I could just bathe under a sun lamp. And then I could have this dude with his mittens on, red face from windburn, out here in a blizzard, peeping through my window.
Yeah.
It's a whole impractical setup, though. Like, she's not getting the use of that lamp. The way she's sitting, like, face it with the hair. But, like, I don't know. It's very impractical, the whole thing.
This is definitely comic books at its finest.
Yeah. Before we get too far into the rest of the list, I want to give a shout out to everybody in chat. What's up? I see Newbie Comics, Raider Bear Comics, Azor's Tiger. What's up, brother? I've got my my sweet Spine Ticks t-shirt. So shout out to the Spine Ticks crew. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Dustin Blunt, what's up, brother? Chad Cave, Banana Momoko, the one and only Drew Lejean is in the chat tonight. Manny, the comic collector, Doc J, Dwayne Scott, Comic Talks Weekly. We appreciate all you guys. Make this show go much faster because we're having a good time with you guys. And all the time, these guys say at the end, "Hey, you guys, that was a quick show," and it's because the fans. That's why. So appreciate it. Here we go. Let's do this. So Bird City Comics, make sure you guys go check them out. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the Tales from the Flipside IG channel. If you guys haven't seen it, there is a post on there that talks about our 2020 year in review special. We're going to do that Saturday night. We got a big special show coming up, so it should start around 9 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's what I said. And then
earlier, isn't it?
8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, there we go. So biggest lesson learned in 2020, biggest surprise in 2020, and what you're expecting for 2021. If you guys want to respond with just a quick video, all you guys viewers, anybody out there in the YouTube comic community, you can either put that on IG and just tag hashtag Flipside 2020, or send it to our email, of course, which is flipsidechannel@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to play all those. So there you guys go. IG at Tales from the Flipside, or you can email us at talesfromtheflipsidechannel@gmail.com. I think most of the people here all the people here that are on the show tonight should be on the special. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some other friends of the show jump on, some people from other shows on the channel. And we're looking forward to a lot of the videos that you guys are sending in. We're already getting some sent in, left and right. So make sure you guys get in on it, and we'll do our best to get you on the show. It's going to be a long one, so make sure you guys check it out. All right, let's get back into the list. Let me get rid of this one. All right. Starting the actual Hot 10 list, this is an interesting one. Ginny Hex special. Jonah Hex's daughter. Is that what his granddaughter? What is this?
Great granddaughter, something like that. Yeah, it's down the family line. And
Nico, you made a comment about this while we were talking about it. That this might not be the book if you're going after Ginny Hicks, but.
Yeah, no. I mean, but what's strange is that it's demanding the same amount as the Walmart variant, which is the first appearance. I think there's a lot of books that are just soaring right now on this list. Not like every other book, which is just soaring in price. And as everybody who watches this show and is kind of familiar with what Ben's doing, he's not reporting the 10 books that you need to run out and buy. But just reporting on the market and what's happening in the market as best that he possibly can from looking at the trends. So, big numbers for this 1 in 25 variant. I think Ultra mentioned that it may be a product of completionists.
Yeah, so I'm noticing that these books tend to go to people. Like I even lost out on the Wonder Woman Liar variant, and it wasn't even her first appearance on that one. I don't think it was just her on the cover. But I lost out to that as somebody at my LCS. He was on a pull. He's like, I have to have all these 1 in 25s. So that's the dude who also, forked over $200 for that Batman 92 one per store. So, going after all of those could be something. Let's just say this. If I was a DC collector, it's probably what I would be collecting. But that's just me. I collect very weird things. I go for complete runs, complete variant sets. It's just kind of like in my nature of collecting habits. So,
Amen.
Yeah, but you got time. Future State's coming. So you're going to have like 2 months where you can go back and grab the old DC stuff because nobody's going to be paying attention to it.
Well, there's a couple of them that are doing really, really big, like Clown Hunter. You know what I mean? Like, and of course the Punchline one, but I think these 1 in 25s, especially this one, are probably being chased more because there's less of them, and there's a lot of people still in the market looking for them.
Yeah. Now, what book you had to buy? Ginny Hex.
Yeah, it was the Ginny
number one.
Number one, and you had to buy 25 copies of that.
Yeah, which ain't happening at my local comic shops.
No. And it's selling well for 40 plus, which is what Ben is reporting. So,
hard to find book. Probably substantially more rare than that Walmart book. Maybe not substantially more rare than that Walmart book in grade. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, this is pre-stimulus money too, by the way. For the most part,
it happens. Yeah. All right, on to number 9 this week. I love these old school books. Well, old school to me. These slave labor graphic books. These old school slave labor graphic books. I think Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was in there. A lot of the Johann Vasquez, I think that's how you say his name, books were in there. This is another one that I remember picking up covers, but I never picked up this cover. I must have never seen this one. This is Haunted Mansion number 6. As it says on the cover, stories inspired by the classic Disney attraction Haunted Mansion, and that is a really dark cover to have on something Disney.
That doesn't look like the Eddie Murphy movie to me.
No. So it's an homage to Vault of Horror number 37, and it's supposedly pretty hard to find. But one sold for just about $30 in October, and now it's $100 raw book. So if any of you guys have a run or a line on any of them, hit up Stein because this is one that he really wants. So, what do you guys think?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
I hope that I run into it maybe in the Celebration area if I ever get out of this hole. But my surroundings aren't too terrible. I get to talk to you guys.
Well, you guys, you got Disney in your backyard there, brother. Let's see if we can find one.
Yeah, but there's
Horror fans are
people.
rabid.
Problem.
Say that again, Nico.
Horror fans are just so rabid.
They are.
I mean, they spend big money on books. They love it. Doesn't have to be a pre-code horror book. Doesn't have to be a Bronze Age horror book. It can be, an innovation Nightmare on Elm Street book, and if it's the right issue
for a reason.
Yeah, I plus, can you imagine how hard this book's going to be in grade?
Yes.
Oh yeah. And I believe the Haunted Mansion covers, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they're a little thicker, if I'm not mistaken. But
okay,
that's where I could be wrong.
Stock, maybe.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff. Again, this is a pretty high dollar raw book right now. So if you guys have any or see any, you might want to think about throwing it up.
Check the children's stacks too, but this one might have been flagged a little bit by like the people putting it on the children's stacks and be like, "Oh, wait, maybe that's not."
Wait a second.
Yeah,
that guy's hanging from a noose. Maybe we shouldn't put that there with Uncle Scrooge.
But sometimes they get through, and there are weirder situations to happen. Make sure you're just double checking those back issue bins for the kids section, because it's usually where Haunted Mansion would wind up, right next to Figment.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. A lot of people flipping through boxes, they only see the top third. You don't see the noose guy hanging if you're flipping through a box. You just see the title, Haunted Mansion. So that's a very good point.
Stuff, dude.
Be there.
Number 8 this week is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous cover. This is, of course, the Scarlet Witch variant for Strange Academy number 6, the David Nakayama Virgin variant. So Ben writes, you could have bought the trade Virgin set a couple of weeks ago for less than 50 and the Virgin alone for around 30. This will now run you double that amount. He says he really likes this one and the number 4 Magic cover from the same series. So what do you guys think about this one?
I love it. David Nakayama's great. I'm a fan.
Almost kind of has the negative variant feel to it with the background and everything.
Almost. But man, he's got and more covers that I'm discovering. I'm like, oh, I forgot that I have this from him. And I'm just going through my collection over the last couple of days, like reorganizing stuff. Definitely seeing like I have a lot of artwork by him.
Yeah, and, we had him on Monty the 1 week, and he talked about some of his concepts of what he likes to do, and I really dig like his perspective on things. Like when he does an homage, he doesn't want to just copy what was done before. He wants to take it from a different perspective to make it something new. So I don't know if you guys saw that Captain Marvel where she's on the rock like the Losh, but it's from a different angle. Like he wanted to do it different. So it's a nod, but it's different.
It's funny that you said homage, because one of my favorite books from him is actually Gwenpool 21's homage to the old Iron Man book, where it's Gwenpool versus Doctor Doom, but it's infamous Iron Man, and the second print is one of the ones that did a spec matrix on. So
yeah, good stuff. Again, I'm a fan.
And this right here speaks volumes to his work. All knockouts.
Yeah, and please, if you're not watching 3-Card Monty, check it out. Real timeless content. The conversations that Chris Nelms, Peter, and company have been able to have with creators.
This was the other one.
Priceless.
Yeah, let me see that one. I'll have you throw
that was the other one
up.
Ben mentioned. Ben said he liked number 4. This is number 4. Out when we interviewed him, and just gorgeous stuff. This Magic is good stuff.
Wow, that is gorgeous. Yeah, can't beat that. All right, so that is number 8 this week. Let's get on to number 7. This is another interesting one. This is a second print variant to Avengers number 28. Different cover. This is the Ed McGuinness kind of like Ghost Rider on the Silver Surfer board cover. Cover price to $60 and very few available for sale. It is a good cover, but as Ben would say, that there is a good shot that these will come out of the woodwork when people realize the price is high. So, this could be a book that a lot of people, maybe there's a lot out there. I don't know how many there are out there, but it'll be interesting. I think people would have probably picked this up thinking, oh, this is just a cool cover.
Check those cheap bins, whether they're $1 bins, $2 bins, whatever your store does. This is the kind of thing you will find just lingering.
Yep. Were you guys reading Avengers?
This is about the same time or right before the Moon Knight saga.
Right before.
right before it. Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
know
what
what?
was it? What was that one that got hot? That Moon Knight cover was like
35.
32?
33.
33. All right, so
33.
a few before it.
Yeah, and nobody was really reading 33 either. So I mean,
No.
that's why it's like it got a second print. I will say this, that the Walmart packs will probably be ripe for some of these later printings.
That's a good point.
And may still be a reason to continue to pick those up. But we'll have to see. Obviously somebody's going to need to pick them up and score one of these in there, and then for it to be game on. But I like this cover. I like the concept, but I have to read the story and wonder where in the story does this take place now, because I don't think
it does.
It's not one of those.
It's got to be. It's got to be interior art. No,
it's a panel remake.
That's what they usually do with their later prints these days.
I'll have to, and I'm going to read it now. So
I didn't read it. I had everybody and their brother tell me to buy it for the last 6 months, and like a moron, I might have picked up a copy or two here and there, but I didn't grab a bunch of them online when they were dirt cheap, because I wanted to buy them from one source. So they may, in fact, be truly hard to find. We'll see how this goes. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Wait. So is that really Phoenix Force with Ghost Rider too?
I think it's part of those Phoenix variants.
Yes.
Ultra.
Huh.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
This is. I mean, so somebody in the chat did say yes. It's one panel from inside, but I think it's
Spider Nerd.
I think it's more just Ghost Rider with the surfer board and riding it and turning the surfboard into a flaming thing like his wheels would, more so than the Phoenix power up too, because that trifecta would be amazing. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Could be though.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
All right, so that is Avengers number 28, the second print. On to number 6 this week, and this is another interesting one that I think a lot of people are freaking out over, the Marvel Phase 4 stuff, right? This is the Mighty Avengers number 13, the second printing. What do you guys think about this?
Holy shit.
I've been looking for this for a while, so I haven't been able to find it cheap.
And here I am thinking this book had no more hope, and I sold one, and then the Mighty Avengers are nothing compared to the Mighty Contract of Daisy Johnson, apparently.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that may be the huge influence behind this book.
Well, one of the things that we talked about before the show is, just looking into what everything is going on with this book. And we pulled up the Marvel fandom stuff, right? That, basically, obviously, everybody's talking about the Secret Warriors first appearance. But one of the books that you talked about, Ultra, was the Volume 2 of Secret Warriors, right? And was it the Nakayama variant that you were talking about?
No, but that's the one in 25, and shout out to David Nakayama again for having another book mentioned. But no, there's the one in 50. So there's the one in 50. Go back one, and you shall see the Robbie Rodriguez, Spider-Gwen. Robbie Rodriguez actually did a variant cover. It's a 1 in 50 incentive for this for Secret Warriors.
Let me find that. I'll find that here in a secect. But so that is the 1 in 50. I'm terrible tonight. I apologize, guys.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
There's a lot of people who were convinced there was going to be a Secret Warriors MCU project that didn't get announced here at Disney Investor Day. I think a number of people still think it's coming. Ultra, you think it'll be more like the second volume, unlike the first volume?
Well, all right. So my thing is that we've already seen the Lawrence Fishburne attached to the Moon Girl project. We've already got Kamala Khan, the MCU project, confirmed and started. We've got Inhumans that have happened, but will probably be retconned heavily. But Daisy Johnson is the key element. So, all right, highlight that. That's not it either. It's the one that has them all on it. Right there. Yep. No. There you go. So yeah. And this one right here is a team that, if it is just these three, that would be amazing. Yeah. Because if it's just basically them working with Daisy to explore their powers and stuff like that, I really think that's a possible avenue for them to mainstream Moon Girl in maybe a live action setting. But I think the Lawrence Fishburne project we've heard, but I think it might be animated.
That's definitely animated.
Yeah, so it's going to start off animated, and who knows where they're going to develop it. So I think you may be right that it may start off with the previous team. They may, have something happen to them and then end up getting replaced, or they may graduate, move on, promoted, whatever. And then this may be the avenue that they're going to take for Daisy Johnson, because Daisy Johnson's apparently sticking around, and this has everybody going Quake crazy at the moment.
She was the best part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
You don't get rid of that. You don't throw that away.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say Coulson was probably...
Well, that's true.
Really. And Agent May. And I mean, look, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has its own thing that really happened for it, and it does have its own following. I even still collect S.H.I.E.L.D. variants, so I can't front. So, but this book is an anomaly because the hinting of it coming and going, and then it going away again, and then coming back, and now coming back this strong is amazing.
All right, on to number 5, and this is another interesting one that we're going to talk about a little bit here. And this is, hey, you guys didn't think Star Wars was not going to be on this list, right? This is X-Wing Rogue Squadron, Baron Fell spec, but I don't know if this is the right spec. This is Rogue Squadron number 25. Ben writes, rising from $20 to almost $100 raw. This is another one of these Star Wars books with importance. There's some Thrawn stuff in here, the origin of Baron Fell, and he says that it's really hard to tell what the real value is. And one of the things that we talked about before the show is this isn't the first appearance of Baron Fell. It's just the origin of Baron Fell. Am I correct? The first appearance is Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron number 21, which has a really dope Baron Fell cover on it that looks pretty similar. So There you guys go. This is the actual first appearance. But the thing about X-Wing Rogue Squadron 25 is that it has some really cool Thrawn stuff in it too, and some early Thrawn origin stuff maybe that people are kind of going after on this book. Nico, what do you think? What do you think about this?
If they're buying it for Baron Fell, they're buying the wrong book. People are in love with Thrawn. I love Philip Lee, but I respect his Star Wars knowledge, and he is all in on Thrawn. And I think there's a lot of smart people who are the same way. So this is, thanks to Peter, I learned where Thrawn shows up, in Dark Horse continuity after that Heir to the Empire miniseries. I think it's a good opportunity to kind of remind people that comicbookinvest.com is your source for Star Wars comic information, period, end of story.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. What do you guys think about the news of the other Rogue Squadron or X-Wing movie that you talk about a lot, Nico, that kind of people maybe missed out on the initial?
Well, this is another thank you, Peter, for just dropping insight and knowledge, because you just do a hell of a job with that stuff, right? So what Peter explained was, maybe this is how they roll Thrawn into and introduce him is with the Rogue Squadron stuff, not necessarily with the Patty Jenkins film that may focus on the character from Star Wars Rogue Squadron number 1, but they're able to hook this Baron Fell character in the TV show, do what the heck's the Queen's name? Help me. Oh God.
Amidala?
No, the one, the X-Wing Queen lady.
Yara.
I had one of her books here. Maybe do this girl in this run too. You know what I mean?
Which hold that up again there.
The
Nico.
Warrior Princess.
The Warrior Princess. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
She's in. Isn't she in Republic also? If I remember correctly, they do a couple books of her there. Anyways,
I like all that stuff, dude. we're at an age technologically where this stuff is going to be so awesome on the big screen and on television. I think finally, TIE fighters, X-Wings are going to be, it's going to be like nothing else.
Yeah, and getting a book that has multiple bites at the apple, where you get Fel, you get Thrawn, that helps your case. So if you're not buying it for one part of the spec, you're buying it for the other. So you're giving yourself some outs.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a buyer at $100 for the love of Christ, but I'm never a buyer at any of these books. I wouldn't be buying that Secret Warriors at that price, or maybe the Peeping Tom. I just kind of like the reference.
And here's, I want to pick on Lord Tatman's question. What will these Star Wars books be selling for in 10 years? If they come up is the real question. If they are available for sale at market, which obviously I've been very much listening to Nico reference this multiple times. Star Wars fans don't care. They will collect the book. They will put it in their collection, and it will never see the light of day again.
You'll die with them.
And you will be hard-pressed to find them coming for sale unless that person is in a rock-solid jam and needs to sell it. But it usually gets sold in the entire collection. And this is the reason why a lot of these variants are really good spec plays for just purchasing, sitting them in a long box for a year to 2 years, and then putting them back on market again, and you should be able to get a return on your investment. And I've done that multiple times on multiple Star Wars books, and that comfortable 500 to 1,000% profit margin. And that's where it's comfortable for me to be like, okay, $15 to $25 investment, but what is my return going to be? And knowing that Star Wars product will move, it will go to somebody's hands because somebody did not collect it on release day and is looking for it right now.
So there's so much stuff going for Star Wars, and I hate to belabor or beat like a dead point with all of this stuff, but newsstands I think are extra special. High grade copies of the stuff that wasn't preserved like so much of the Copper Age really for me has an added perk. And then the fact that, as Ultra astutely observes, people are collectors that are buying these, they're not speculators or flippers by and large, not that there's not some of that stuff going on. I think the speculators and the flippers are the sellers, but I don't see books that get sold popping right back up on eBay like I do with every other market. So, it took a while, but I'm a believer.
Yeah. Lord Tatman says, I just don't understand why Star Wars fans waited so long. And here's the reason for that. Most of them didn't. And the other ones that did, because they thought that it was never going to get hot like it. And it just took so long.
And I think that's the point. The point is, as Ultra said, like Star Wars fans, they already had this stuff. They're not selling it.
It's the toy people bleed over that didn't collect comics. That maybe read the stuff online or trade paperbacks that I think are the newer buyers, or the people that are getting back into it after just being angry at Lucasfilms for 15, 20 years.
You have the people angry at what Lucas did with Star Wars. You have the people who aren't really thrilled with the newest trilogy of movies. But what did they have that everybody loved? Mandalorian. We've got 2 seasons of Mandalorian that both hit within a window where Marvel was sitting on the sidelines due to COVID. Like, it pushed everything away. So Marvel sat out. DC didn't take advantage and do anything with that window. But Star Wars came in and said, hey, look, we got a great show for you. Everybody loved it. Not only that, we got a second season for you. Everybody loved it. And look at all the more stuff we're going to be giving you. And the people their minds just lit up like fireworks, and now they have something else to go and hunt while they were waiting on Marvel. Because Marvel, people were specking 3 years out of like things like, oh, maybe they'll make this movie. Like Marvel spec had been done to death. This was just an uncovered territory that everybody rushed to.
Yeah, I'm going to make a separate null show so that we can talk about that too. But anyway, one last point. The biggest properties weren't announced. So, Coder, Knights of the Old Republic, Dr. Aphra, like that stuff still on the horizon. That's why I think there's just so much staying power to this stuff.
Yeah, still got it in their pocket.
Well, I want to remind everybody that there is a separate show for Star Wars stuff that you can find on the Tales from the Flipside YouTube channel, and we have a member of that show on a Hot 10 tonight. And you guys were doing Mando stuff reviews on the regular, but now Mando's going to be over, so now it's just back into the good old Star Wars stuff. So, do you guys have anything coming up there, Peter?
Well, we got a few shows to get in some of the history and some of these characters, coming up. Again, I came late. I've been so busy doing so many other things that I couldn't really hop on with Marco and those guys when they first started. So they just started rolling without me, and then I hopped in back late with the Mando reviews. But I mean, as soon as Bad Batch gets rolling, we'll definitely be doing that. I know Jen has been talking about maybe we're covering some of the shows that are already out there to kind of do like a recap. Maybe we'll do like a Clone Wars catch up or a Rebels or something. All good stuff that you should be watching anyway. It's just for your own entertainment. Just watch it, let alone what speculation it might help you get ahead of the curve.
Amen. All right, on to a big book this week for shitty reasons. With the passing of MF Doom, we've got the Mighty Thor #1, the Diodato hip-hop variant that references the MF Doom album. And this homage saw prices move from $15 to $50 raw on eBay. And we always see this, fans love, maybe this is a way of reminiscing. Don't get me wrong. There's people that always, have to profit off of stuff, but most of the time it's fans reminiscing. And I think a lot of MF Doom fans probably already had this book. But the ones that didn't are trying to grab it quickly. And of course, you've got the Thor movie that's coming up with Jane Foster, so that's probably a little bit to do it. But yeah, the passing of MF Doom has this book selling. What do you think about this, Ultra?
Man, look, when I read and found out that he actually passed back in like October, and the family was just now releasing the news, it's like they did that to not make 2020 hurt any more than already it was putting a hurting on us while they grieved. And just remember, when you say his name, say it in all caps. That's all you can do. Listen to his music. Buy his. Do you guys even buy CDs anymore?
No.
I'm an old man. I buy CDs just because I want the album. And in that one day when the internet does crash, I could still put a CD in a CD player and have my music work. Unlike a lot of people who are like, I can't connect. They have nothing in their library. So, support his family and I guess his estate by going and, supporting his albums and his work that's already out there, and buy new prints of it when it happens, and just do what you can, but RIP for sure, man. It's a loss, and it always sucks because the good ones always go,
Yep. Yeah. Amen. The hip hop covers, we've talked a lot about these on the channel, and this is one that is definitely one that most of us will probably pick up if we ever see it in the future. You should probably be picking up all these hip hop covers right now from all the info people like Ultra have been given about the qualifier variants and how hard some of these were to get. I know that we've talked about the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur one, which is getting hot, super hot all of a sudden. There's a lot of those on that list. What are the ones that they should really look out for, Ultra?
Well, I mean, obviously everybody knows the hot characters right now is Miles Morales, Silk, Spider-Gwen. There's two of them that are 1 in 100s that are going to be a little bit less likely to be popping up in your back issue bins, but the Deadpool #2, 1 in 100 is the Vanilla Ice Swipe. But all of these books, all right, look, one of the sickest things that I've been able to accomplish in my collecting life is I assembled an entire hip hop run, all 146 of them, and it was I had to buy a lot of copies of some of the books because these books are the most unforgiving. It's the worst paper, the black ink. And here's the meter exceed for Thor's #2, which was a Secret Wars title. And so that's your total orders. That includes all your variants, all that stuff, and you had to order regular cover A of Mighty Thor #1 just to unlock the ability to order this variant. So this is just one of those things, and the 175% is on the low side at this time. I believe there's a couple of them, like the Wolverine, which is the all new Wolverine, which is the DMX swipe.
Yeah.
That was like a 300 or 350% qualifier.
Jesus.
That Inhumans one was the hard one to find back then. Even the homage to
Sugar
Hill Gang, yeah, which is a gorgeous cover.
Because nobody was ordering 100 copies of all new Inhumans #5 back then. But there, Deadpool had a sales total around 90,000.
Yeah.
So
crazy stuff.
Yeah. So can we talk briefly about the ratio, the conversation that we had before the podcast, Ultra? If you could try to kind of explain that for people that aren't really aware.
So there's two ways of explaining this: the big shop and the small shop scenario. So if you're a big shop like Midtown and you were ordering Thor's #2 by the truckload to sustain everybody buying all the Secret Wars tie-ins during that time, well, when it came up to qualify for this, you would have had to order basically 3.5 tons worth of comic books, most likely 3/4 of the entire print run of the cover A, just to unlock the ability to qualify. So that's one scenario. That's your big store scenario, and that's worst case scenario. And then you have your mom and pop shop, your little comic stop, the newsstand, little hole in the wall. They ordered a whopping 1 copy of Thor's #2 for their shelf, and were able to knock a home run on these hip hop variants if they were savvy, and realized that they had to order a whole 2 copies of Thor #1, Mighty Thor #1, to unlock as many of this hip hop variant as they want. So that's the opposite end of the spectrum, and then you have a lot of stores that fell very, in the middle. This is the reason why qualifier variants, when their percentages were based upon a really tough issue, make the book that they're chasing less common. So it's mathematics. So you could have a small store with the ability to order a bajillion of these things, and then you could have a large store with the ability to order nil.
Yeah, qualifier variants, legitimately supporting qualifier variants, buying qualifier variants, literally builds the comic market from the ground up, helping small retailers who did the right thing, were shrewd enough to buy them, helping the guys that are buying, gals that are buying books from these small retailers. They're just cool. And this one is particularly awesome.
I agree.
I also liked some of the ones that other people have mentioned. I really like the DMX homage for All New Wolverine and X-23. That's a gorgeous comic cover.
Yep.
There was the Kamala Khan one that Jay Nunya talks about, the Lauryn Hill great one.
Beat up copy of that for like $15. I felt so accomplished.
Yeah, and of course the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur is one that people are just trying to get really, really hard right now. A lot of those hip hop covers are, man, they're tough to find. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for them, and rest in peace to MF Doom. All right, on to number 3 this week, more Star Wars. And this is an interesting one. I know there's going to be people out there that are going to be like, oh, this is a magazine and this and that. I get you. I totally get it. But this one right here, kind of, you got to expect this one to blow up. It is the quote unquote first appearance of the High Republic team or whatever characters, and this is Star Wars Insider, the subscription variant, if I'm correct, right? Is that right? The subscription variant.
This is the PX one. This is
the PX variant. Okay,
this is the copy that I think comic shops could get.
Got it. Okay, and this is for $199. Star Wars Insider $199. For those of you that don't know, Star Wars Insider is a fan magazine for Star Wars that I was a subscriber to for years. I remember the first time we found out about Star Wars Insider, and I remember filling out my little subscription card, which had like Anakin Skywalker as a kid on it. I still can see it. And I remember filling it out and sending it in and getting my first Star Wars Insider and that badass Darth Maul cover and all those crazy things. This is, again, more Star Wars fandom. And it's interesting to see a new Star Wars Insider get this hot. Because if you guys don't think that Star Wars Insider comics aren't selling for heat right now, Nico, tell them about how well these Star Wars Insiders are selling for.
I mean, I know how well mine sold.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry on eBay. It's unbelievable. I love these books. I've got a soft spot for magazines. I think magazines are something that you can still find for cheap in the wild. I like those boxes of oversized periodicals that are somewhere in a comic shop. I think that's where the cool stuff lives. And, it's going to be interesting whether or not newer collectors are more accepting of first appearances in these non-traditional formats, like the previews and so forth. And if they gravitate to this particular book, which I didn't get a copy of, and I'm a little butthurt about that, but it's awesome. And, because we've seen the inverse with, for example, the magazine-sized first appearance of Boba Fett, right? People are just like, meh. And even the overseas stuff, which is like awesome too, which I love. I love them both. But I don't know how that's going to transition over time, where people are going to go. But, you're going to make your own bets. I'll place mine for my own, personal collection. This is one I would love to get my hands on. And I'm not even that excited about the High Republic.
So these
tell me I can't have something and I want it.
Does anybody know these released same day in the UK?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Sometimes there's a delayed release in the UK, but I think that's where the Titan books are more prevalent on newsstands. And it would still be a different cover because this is the direct market previews exclusive. So it would have to be through a comic shop that still deals in previews over in the UK to even be able to find this elsewhere.
Yeah. Banana Momoko says, so the actual comic is irrelevant now? No. This goes back to... Can we
take 2 seconds to talk about this, like, the hilarity that is already the High Republic #1? So, I didn't buy any. I was like... I'll go grab one from my local comic shop. Like, who cares? They probably ordered it like Star Wars 1. And now everybody's talking about like, well, that's only for people with the Star Wars on their pull list or whatever. I'm just like, is this insane? Like, how could retailers have missed this book?
I don't know.
Well, it's not that they missed it. It's called absorption. And what that is when a book is in for final order cutoff 3 weeks before release, and it has a second print hit a day or two after final orders are in, because the advanced reorder cleaned out any remaining stock that it had, and they're like, oh shit, we need to go back to the printers. The absorption also came in through the additional people who don't know that there's a 3-week window before final order cutoff, who went to their comic shop and were like, I want that book added to my pull list. And that was all of their shelf copies evaporated.
Yeah, I'll try. I think you're fucking just rationalizing an excuse for that. If I had a brick and mortar comic shop, I would order 500 copies of this.
And that's the thing.
Anyone with a brain.
They order Star Wars heavy. And he said he ordered tons, but other shops in our area were calling him, asking for extra to spare. And he's like, dude, I don't. Like, everybody's calling me because they want it put in their boxes.
That's wild. So you think that other shops, smaller, less hip, I still don't understand how you missed this one.
Look, man, mom and pops are playing it really close to the sub list right now. The shelves are stocked with a ton of overstock. So they're going to...
How many prints?
Well, let's see. The first relaunch of Star Wars in 2015 went 7.
It went 7, yeah.
What do you think?
So I think over under on it going to... 4. He's saying 4. I'm thinking it might hit 6.
Brian, you got one?
I think it's going to be monstrous. I think this is going to be a huge series. I think...
But how many prints on the #1? How many prints will it go?
I'll say 5.
Yeah, that was my number 2.
Yeah. Here's I want to get into this real quick, and I don't want to get too deep into it because it's a huge topic of discussion, especially in the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and that is, the talk of magazines as first appearances and this and that. And again, I know everybody's answer to this is same as it's my answer. Collect what you want, but there's some comic people are really getting to the point where this is like the hot button word of calling magazines first appearances. And I think the way we get around that is, and I'm not saying CGC is doing it the right way, but I think this might be the direction where CGC is starting to put first preview or first in print, cameo preview. Like, we have to figure out something to call it, because these magazine first appearances have been around forever. You go back to some of the like you brought up the UK. We have a lot of people from the UK that are, watching right now. In the UK, a lot of those old comic books were magazine size. Warrior, Near Myths, 2000 AD. So are we not calling those comics? There's such a crazy thing to get into. And I'm not saying I think it's one way or the other, but I think the most important thing is that we can converse about it in a way that doesn't cause this, right?
I don't care how big it is. Like Ronin, Last Ronin's a big book. Like, does this have word bubbles and pages? That's what would constitute me to being a first appearance. Like, if it's just the cover, sure, it counts as a first cover appearance. It's in print. But what is the actual story, the product? What's it a preview of? Like, if this cover shows up on a Star Wars variant, like an incentive variant or something like that, then again, I don't know what's on the interior of the guts of this book, but if it has word bubbles and story,
I think there's some preview pages inside.
If there is preview pages, it really makes a tough debate. But we should not devalue the comic book over any preview appearances. That's how I feel. I got a case of previews from the 90s sitting behind me with Warriors of Plasm Zero in it. And if we're really going to start getting real technical and cutting corners to just
Jim Shooter.
I have one signed by Jim Shooter, in fact. I met Jim Shooter at Defiant headquarters when I was on an art class tour there.
I traveled in my car 6.5 hours hoping to meet Jim Shooter, but he canceled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jim Shooter, the original young comic impresario, or however they say it, right?
I was also trying to meet King Kong Bundy, and he canceled for health reasons and then passed away.
Oh,
well, it was just all bad, dude. It was all bad.
I think Jim Shooter was like 13 when he came up with Legion of Superheroes or something like that. Super young. So shout out to Jim Shooter.
We had a question from Chad Cave about who publishes the magazine. It's Titan Publishing. So they make comic book size comics. Shout out to their Robotech line. But this is definitely that magazine size. But is it slabbable? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just going to take forever. So,
bro, I don't even want to talk about magazines. The wait for them is painful, but I love getting them back. But I hope we'll have some soon.
Yeah. I also want to real quick on the topic we were just talking about. I want to give a shout out to people on IG who are really conversing about this and doing it in a good way. So everybody out there that is talking about comics in any way, let's just continue the good conversations about it, and maybe we'll finally come up with some type of answer. But again, this is number 3 on the list, Star Wars Insider 199, the PX exclusive, which is supposedly selling for about $100 raw, if that's correct. With Ben Wright. So, and again, I want to give a big shout out
that I thought was reasonably priced.
I want to give a big shout out to Steve Horn and My Bargain Comics, who talked about this book ages ago on Flipside channel. So make sure you guys give Steve and My Bargain Comics a check out. Good stuff. All right, more Star Wars. Oh man, you guys are Star Wars people are loving this, but everybody else is hating it. I know, but Star Wars is crazy right now. And this book, I'm not surprised to see this on the list at number 2. Star Wars number 10 from Dark Horse Comics way back in the day. This is the Outlander saga storyline, which is everybody's kind of getting big on because of Ashrad Het. Is that how you say it? Ashrad Het, I believe.
Don't ask me about
It's
pronunciation.
Ashrad Het.
And which, of course, Darth Krayt, it turns into Darth Krayt. Star Wars fans know about this character. Darth Krayt's a big Sith, guy in comics, or I mean, in the Star Wars universe. And this is a big book right now. Of course, it's like I felt like this is the book that was going to be on the list eventually. We all knew it was coming, and you could still find it for 25, 20, 15 bucks at the time, and still a lot of people didn't buy it. It is Ben writes the first full appearance of Ashrad Het, who becomes Darth Krayt, rising from $25 to $50 raw. Now it's almost $100 raw. Expect to see some graded copies hit the market in January, and then let's see how high the price goes. Anyone else just love the cover, and this cover is awesome, man. It is a damn cool cover.
It's hitting. That's for sure. And so, is this somebody who survived the Order 66 that a young Anakin did on the Sand People?
Well, he's not a Jedi.
Yeah,
really. He's being a Sith, so more hunted. And this hits in that weird time too when the renumbering kind of happened. Like the first parts of Outlander were listed like number 1 Outlander, but it was really issue 7 of Star Wars series, so it could get confusing if you're flipping through a box.
Yeah, and expect for people to fight about 7 and 10 for a long time. A long time.
Yeah, I think I have. Let me bring this up here, guys. I think I have this. Let me find it. Maybe I don't. I had number 7 up, but yeah, you're right, Nico. What is the problem? Is that like a young Ashrad Het in number 7, a baby or something like that?
The problem is you can't tell. Okay, and like people who are like, no, this is the right book. No, this is the right book. Like that's adorable, but you can't tell. But I think 10 has become the winner because it clearly has a better cover. So, and theoretically, it's like 7 is just not that good of appearance of anyone because it's just so small.
And 7 has somebody else is in there. Was it Aura Singh?
There you go.
It's another possibility.
Yeah, so it's like, they all wear masks. Who's the kid? Who's the dad? What's the right book? I don't know, but it's awesome that this many people are excited about this much stuff that has to do with Star Wars, and I feel like a little kid again.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Star Wars defies convention in the sense that Star Wars is all about the villains. Like, villain specs is where people spend their money. They want the Darth characters. They want the evil characters. They want the first appearances of Darth Krayt, Darth Nihilus, Darth Bane, Darth Revan, like whoever it might be. That's where they shop. It's not in the superhero world. The villain appearances, they may heat up a little bit, but they still kind of get leveled out by the hero.
And a lot of these Sith, also were Jedi to begin with. So, that's why you have the turning.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's his arc. And I think there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of news about, trying to maybe hone in on some of those Sith stories. So maybe you do the inverse instead of, like a redemption arc. You watch someone fall from grace. There was obviously the Tusken Raider episode in season 2 of The Mandalorian that was a lot of fun, and who knows what they'll do, but it's cool.
Yeah. Make sure, again, you guys go check out the list at comicbookinvest.com. They do a killer job. I think they updated the list the other day, so make sure you guys go check that out.
And put like a whole resources page together. It has a bunch of the stuff all together.
Yeah. Also, real quick, I want to give everybody a shout out to make sure you guys keep your comics in good shape using Comic Barricade. If you guys go to comicbarricade.com and use the code word Flipside, you'll get 10% off your order. I believe there's also cardstopper.com now available too. So go check out the Card Stoppers if you guys are into the trading card game, the sports card game. They're invaluable. So make sure you guys go check it out. comicbarricade.com. Use the code word Flipside for 10% off your order. Let's get into number 1 this week. And I think everybody that saw this book knew it was going to be on the list eventually and probably hit this spot. And that is this gorgeous, amazing Spider-Man number 55 book that just came out. Ben writes, it's not too often that a regular cover comes along and people just have to have it and pay 4 to 5 times cover price to get it. This one was done so well that it fits the bill. So, gorgeous cover.
Hey, Can we explain how the hell do retailers miss this one? Like
No,
everybody in the world knew about it.
Yeah.
Every shop had a poster of this. I think they got given posters to put in their windows.
I mean, I'm not here to like break the balls of local comic shops. But for the love of Pete, man, 0 for 2.
Did you read it?
No, but I got a copy here.
Look at the cover.
All right, so I missed out altogether on this A cover. There were no A covers left.
Hey,
I would love one if you have an extra.
I can probably go get you an extra one.
But
My comic shop did not miss it. That one was good too.
The
Delgado was basically
I was just not that excited about it. I was like, I'll take one of both. It's cool.
I personally, I grabbed the Delgado, and I do love the story, the guts on the inside. And,
Really?
do you guys do spoilers on this show? I mean, it's been out since Wednesday, right?
Of course we do. Yeah.
I got it.
So apparently Mary Jane dies in this issue, which is the reason why I think it's moving a little bit well as well. But is
that like that one time when Batman died for an issue?
Well, it's been Kindred has been killing people and reviving them, and he did Peter like over and over and over again. So he's like having a fun time doing it. And there was really a good scene that actually happens in the pages of this book, which I got to give him credit. This A cover definitely sold the book. The story is going to probably carry it long term. But I saw some retailers with like 70 something plus 9.8 sold on eBay. Like, yeah, so they're buying cases of this thing in order to pre-screen them in 9.8s, and they're getting 9.8s, and it's a black cover, so it's going to be a little bit tough.
It is.
But the story on the inside is definitely, I think, going to get a little bit more interest to this book for a little while.
So is she alive at the end?
The page fades to black. I don't think she's alive. She says it's going to be okay, and then it fades to a full page of all black.
So they did like a Randy Orton. Is he going to burn Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, I mean it's Spider-Man. Obviously, with Kindred's powers of revival, he's probably just going to walk over, touch her reviver if that happens. But you know, it is what it is.
Let me ask you one other question about this, because I gave up a long time ago. Did they ever reveal who Kindred is?
Yes.
Does anyone care?
Well, Norman Osborn cares.
Is it Norman Osborn?
No, it's his son Harry.
Huh.
This is the reason why he's got a grudge against Peter. This is the reason why he's got everybody. You know, he's got Miles, Spider-Gwen, Silk, the other Spider-Woman, Madam Web. And I think was Scarlet Spider also there. I can't remember now. But basically, Kindred has them all captured, including Peter. And Peter's basically like sitting on a throne of bones. And Mary Jane walks in to save the day and stop basically Kindred from torturing him anymore.
Interesting. Just so behind on on a lot of my reading.
So behind on Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, go ahead and keep this going a little bit, because I am looking at the last page right now. We'll find out definitively.
You're not finding out definitively. It's cliffhanger.
She gets blown up by a pumpkin bomb thrown by Norman Osborn. Gets yelled at by Harry Osborn. No, she was supposed to be my kill. He's basically about to slit her throat like a dick. And and then the last page of the book is an all black page.
Yeah, it says MJ's holding her, and it says and he says MJ, and she says, "Don't worry, you're not getting rid of me that easy, Tiger. It's gonna be okay. Trust me." And then it fades to black.
A full black page. Yes.
Full black page. So yeah, you can read that one of two ways. I would read it your
like
way.
That demon comma.
With fade to black. What do you fade to black? So
we'll start it on the comma.
But here's the thing: isn't there a lot of spec right now about her becoming Carnage or something like that? I mean,
that's in a different universe. But did you see Ronan Khan? Maybe Death will finally give MJ some powers, a la Spider-Gwen. All right, I want my keen readers to go back and read this book. When she walks up, her eyes are glowing as if she's got Goblin formula. I think that's why she's gonna make it through. But I think maybe she might be Goblin formula up. But the Kingpin's also in play, and I haven't read enough of the previous issues. All I did was flip through a lot of these on the shelves on release day, just to kind of keep my knowledge kind of rolling. And some interesting things. But Cover A still knocked it out of the park. I think that
Yeah.
being released in 2020, I think this is probably contender for cover of the year.
Yeah, I put it up there. I get.
Next
I've been.
one. Can I ask the same question? How many printings?
I mean, it all depends. Are they going to milk this image? And
They're not.
are we going to
From the
get
inside.
with a reverse of this image, all white cover with black lines? That's what I
I'd be interested to see that.
What about this with, instead of white, it being red?
Yeah, I mean, that'll work too.
Yeah.
I mean, and there you go. So we just gave Marvel their idea for their 4
An idea. You do all blue with red ink, or whatever. You could do a whole different bunch of colorways for us.
Yeah. Oh, if she is in cahoots with Norman, like you guys are talking, listen, we all know she's going to be back. It's comics. She's going to be back. I don't think she's dead. I think
Alfred's still dead.
Who?
No. Alfred?
Oh yeah.
No. Apparently that was somebody made to look like Alfred.
comics.
It's comics. No one stays dead.
Yeah. I want to remind everybody again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. You make this show fun. You make it interesting. And I also want to remind everybody to make sure to go check out the Instagram, Tales from the Flipside on IG. Hit us up if you guys want to get in on our year-end special. We're asking everybody that wants to get in to send us a short video answering a couple of questions for us. You can answer one, you can answer all three. It's the questions are: biggest lesson you learned in the hobby in 2020, biggest surprise in the hobby in 2020, and what are you expecting for 2021? If you guys want to get in on this, of course, you can just take your video, put it on IG, and tag us Flipside, #Flipside2020. Or you guys can send it to our email. The email is talesfromtheflipsidechannel@gmail.com. We appreciate everybody that's already sent in audio clips or video clips, or that's been nice enough to come on the show with us. We're going to have a lot of fun. We've got a special coming up tomorrow night, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the bell to make sure all notifications are on. I've seen some people say about the channel in the last couple of days, some of the shows, they didn't get notified that the show was released. Make sure you guys hit all notifications on the YouTube, and you guys should be notified anytime anything is dropped on the Tales from the Flipside channel. We really hope you guys can all be with us live tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so year in review episode. We appreciate everybody joining us tonight on the first show of 2021. And we hope you guys hang out with us for the rest of the year. And make sure you guys check out Drunken Chat coming up next. Go check out Bird City Comics. And much love to everybody. Adios.